We are back for paint scheme preview, paint scheme review, whatever we call this series. Part 3. We're going to look at some paint schemes. The majority of them in this one are Toyota. Toyota did not release a lot of paint schemes prior to last week. And so we're going to look at a lot of these Toyota paint schemes. And I would like to start this video by saying, Toyota, I apologize for saying your car looked whack and weird. It's actually, with the paint schemes, it's pretty neat looking. Anyways, before we actually do start rating these paint schemes, I wanted to say I released this weekend's schedule on videos and live streams and all that in the community post. So if you want all the details, they are on that, but I'll try to do it off memory here. Tonight is the heat races and qualifying for the Cup Series at the Clash at the Coliseum. We're going to be doing a live stream for that. And then tomorrow, Sunday, the race, we will be actually watching and then doing a race recap. But if it gets postponed to Monday, I may do another live stream. And then also tomorrow, I'm going to be announcing when I'm doing my full 2024 season preview and predictions. But now that I've talked a bunch, let's get into the paint scheme reviews. Let's see what the first one on the list is. What? I'm sorry. This is real? What? Okay, for real. Yes, this is Jimmie Johnson in a Toyota. I still don't know how to feel about this as a Hendrick Motorsports fan, but it's weird looking to see a giant Toyota logo on his fire suit, and then also to see his name on a Toyota car. But the paint scheme itself, it's a throwback to Richard Petty, you know, that Petty blue. You've got the simple look, the all blue. You've got the 510 horsepower across the engine hood. You've got all the space used up for the most part. As I said, it's simple, it's clean, it's great looking. It's a great kind of throwback look to Richard Petty, 7-time champion, throws back to a 7-time champion. He's going to be running this in the Daytona 500. I think this is a great looking car. I love a throwback, and I love when it's simple and it works. The font is similar to that 43. The car color is similar. Everything about it very similar. Very glad Carvana was willing to do this because this looks great. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I truly do love this paint scheme, though it is extremely weird to see Jimmie Johnson in a Toyota. Next up, oh my goodness. This is what I was talking about when I apologized to Toyota. This is beautiful. Look at this thing. Just look at it. Do I even need to say words for this one? They used the flying horse thing. I think it's called Pegasus. I could be wrong. The black, white, and red are all used in this Christopher Bell paint scheme. No flaws. 0 flaws with this paint scheme. 0. Last week, I think we gave, who did we give? We gave the Ross Chastain Busch Beer. That was a 10 out of 10. This is the second 10 out of 10. This car is beautiful. No complaints. It's beautiful. I hope they run it every week. I know they won't. But Christopher Bell is going to have some great looking cars this year. This is my favorite. Next is Denny Hamlin's Sports Clips car. It's different than last year. I think it's got a little bit more red and black. And I like that they kind of blend it together over the number. You can kind of see that on the front of the car. I don't know why it bothers me so much. Maybe it's just me. But it bothers me that the red kind of cuts off right before the bottom of the car and it doesn't connect to the bottom of the car, the red on the bottom. Like there's that white gap in between the fender, like the edge of the fender and the word Goodyear. There's the gap of red white between the red and red on the bottom in the middle of the car. I don't know why, but it bothers me a little bit. I do like that they kind of highlighted the 11, kept the 11 white to match the white paint scheme. Kind of makes it stick out a little bit in its own sense. The back of the car, they could have used a little bit more. The front of the car looks good, I think. The hood looks good. The Sports Clips logo, everything looks fine there. But just that space of white is bothering me. I wish it would be red on the front and they would close it versus having that weird white gap. Maybe that's just me, but it's going to be a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Just that white line is bugging me so much. Next up, we got some more Legacy Motor Club paint schemes. We've got the Eric Jones number 43 Family Dollar scheme. Now this one, kind of like the Denny Hamlin one, where you got red on the front over the number, but they connect the color down to the bottom of the car. It's simple. It's, as I said, it's kind of like Hamlin's, where the majority of the car is white, but they use red and kind of that orange and gold, yellow at the front of the car. But then they put the Family Dollar logo all the way to the back of the car. They've got kind of the gold 43 on top, which I like. It's a good looking car. I really do like it. I think it's a neat looking paint scheme. So it's simple, it's well done, it connects the color to the bottom, better than the Hamlin scheme, 7 out of 10. Next up is another Legacy Motor Club car. As I said, his teammate, Eric Jones's teammate, John Hunter Nemechek, the Family Dollar, or not the Family Dollar, the Dollar Tree car. I can't read. So this one, I really like the design of this one because you can see the stem of the tree. I think that's what it's called. I'm not a plant expert. I'm not saying I should be, but I should know the basics. But you've got the trunk, maybe that's the right word, in the middle of the car, and then you can kind of see the branches going out all the way from kind of the windshield at the front of the car all the way through the back. That's what the green lines are. Those are essentially the branches of the car, or at least that's how I see it. The green lines aren't random. They aren't, super dark and distracting. They're light green, and they go throughout the car. They match the trunk of the tree, and it looks good. They use the dark green to use the words Dollar Tree, the dark green 42. It's simple, but I like the concept with the tree going throughout the entire car. I really like that concept. So that's going to actually be, I really like this car. It's going to be a 7.42 out of 10. Next up is our first non-Toyota entry in this list. It's the Cheddar's car. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The Cheddar's car with Reddick was so beautiful. It was white. It had the orange outline of their croissants, and it looked perfect. Last year was a step down, but they still kept a picture of a croissant on the back of the car, and it was beautiful. This year, it's an outline of a croissant, and you have to zoom in a bunch to see the little tiny croissants going across the car. I really hope that the actual paint scheme, you can actually see the little tiny croissants. If you can't, then that's extremely disappointing. So here's my 2 ratings on this one. If you can see the little tiny croissants from your seat at the racetrack, that's an 8 out of 10. Great. If you can't, it's a 4 out of 10. The scheme has been downgraded so much over the past couple of years. It's disappointing. I like the orange, I like the black together, but the little tiny croissants used to be the highlight of this paint scheme, and you can barely see them now. So you better be able to see them. If you can, once again, that's an 8. If you can't see them, it's a 4. Next is Justin Haley, his Walmart paint scheme. I didn't know Walmart was in NASCAR. You've only got the side angle, so I'm just going to assume the hood is blue as well, but I like this. It's simple. It's got the Walmart blue, yellow, and white. Just a couple of stripes. Nothing too crazy. Looks good. 7 out of 10, I guess, maybe. Next up is another Denny Hamlin paint scheme, the Mavis Tires and Brakes paint scheme. A lot of people disliked this one last year, but I liked it. I like the color teal. I don't know why, but it just pops in my eyes. And this year's, I think, is better than last year's. It looks better on this body of the Toyota. And also, I like that they didn't make the tire marked black. Now, look, you could say, oh, it's a tire. Tires are black. They make black, skid marks or whatever. But it almost looks like a car drove over this car and it took the teal paint with it over the car into the exhaust pipe. I don't know why I find that cool, but I do. It's pretty simple for the most part. It's a neat looking car. I like the colors. The yellow and teal is a random matchup that I like. It's not a bad looking car. It's like a 7.5 for me. Next is Daniel Suarez's Choice Privileges car. And this is orange, yellow, and white. And everything's it looks like lightning bolts almost, the way the paint scheme is designed. They use up the space really well. The colors mash well. It's a good looking race car. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. As I always say, Trackhouse has fantastic paint schemes. This is yet another fantastic paint scheme. I'm going to say this is an 8 out of 10. I think the orange is a new look for Suarez that'll be very unique. I think it'll look really good on this car. I'm curious to see what it looks like on track. Next is Martin Truex Jr.'s Bass Pro Shops paint scheme, and it's mostly similar to last year's, but the one big difference is that they carry the orange all the way from the back from, what is that, the C-post, and it goes all the way across the top of the car, down the side, and it goes to the front of the car over the nose. I can't decide if I like it or not, honestly. Using the camo, obviously, for a Bass Pro Shops paint scheme is great because Bass Pro Shops, hunting, fishing, camouflage, it always looks great. The orange, that always fits, the hunting gear and stuff. I just don't know if I like it on the hood yet. I can't decide if I like it or dislike it. So we're going to go a 6.5 out of 10 for now. This could change. And now for our last entry, the Bubba Wallace Columbia paint scheme. Columbia always has paint schemes that are amazing for Bubba Wallace. Whether it was their gold car that they used, whether it's the blue and pink one, the black and blue one, they always look great. So you got the light blue at the back of the car, kind of slowly transitioning into the white. You got the gold numbers and you got the blue number on top. It's simple. It transitions well. I like it. The Columbia cars are always great. 8 out of 10. That was a quick paint scheme review, yes. But we got a live stream coming up tonight for the heat races. I am looking forward to it. NASCAR is back today. Let me know what your thoughts are on these paint schemes, and I will see you guys tonight for the heat races for the Clash of the Coliseum.